Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to some general readings for the total lunar eclipse, supermoon, blood moon, flower moon for 26th, 27th of May, depending on where you are in the world. Now it's for the sign that is in the title of the video. It's a bulk introduction as ever. There'll be a timestamp that I'll put down below because I would suggest watch your sun, your moon, and your rising. And if you only get to watch one of them, watch your rising. Now, as ever, there's a link in the description down below for a birth chart, so you can find out your rising sign if you don't know it. And as general readings and general YouTube readings, standard advice applies. You know, if it don't fit, don't try and make it fit. Don't let me make decisions for you. It's not so much, well, I suppose this one is a take what resonates, because normally I would say for my more specific readings, ask a question. But this time I'm using basically oracle cards, and it's having a look at what energies I think this lunar eclipse, or I feel, or I intuit, I suppose would be a better way of saying it, or what the cards think anyway, that are bringing to us to experience throughout the effect of this lunar eclipse. Now, sometimes that can be up to 3 months. I've got stuck in my head from somewhere. I think 3 months for a lunar and 6 months for a solar. However, looking at the symbolism and looking at the astrology of it, it looks like it's definitely a build up and a preparation of the solar eclipse when that arrives in 2 weeks, another 2 weeks time. So I will be doing a show with astrologer David Fisher, looking at the astrology of this lunar eclipse, and also it's a full moon. So I will still be doing my full moon gods at play readings as well, where I will be looking also at the angels and demons and that sort of the symbolisms and the degree symbols of the lunar eclipse itself. Here, since it is a south node eclipse, that is also talking about letting things go, releasing, dealing with the past, all of that sort of stuff. So I thought I would have a look at the angel regarding the south node itself, which in this case is Menadel. But I also want to point out that this is under the influence of Neptune, 22 degrees Pisces. So under modern rulerships, it's happy, it's at home, it's at 22 degrees, it's a master number, giving it extra whammy. And have a look at Soul Garden Namaste TV, Serious Joy, sorry, on YouTube for more about step 22, as Kushwateki calls it. But this is conjunct Pallas, the asteroid Pallas, which a few astrologers have made something of. There's a great video. Well, there was a great note, but I'm sure there was a video about it. If I may suddenly think I'm imagining it, but about Neptune conjunct Pallas from Anastasia Cosmic Astrologer. But the one thing that I noticed that nobody else is talking about is that it is also conjunct the asteroid Orpheus. So Neptune conjunct Pallas is extra psychic whammy, extra psychic awareness, extra psychic atmosphere, psychically charged. It's also Pallas can be looking at the wise way to weaponize things. So I think we have to keep a very close eye on the media and see what symbols and metaphors and dreams and wishy-washy woolly ideas that they are pushing forward more and more and more in order to sway public opinion one way or another. Take that as you will. I'm not an anti-vaxxer or anything like that, so I'm not listening to that sort of aspect of it. But when we look at the patent argument about the COVID vaccine, or we look at the various other economic arguments that abound on the planet, I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up. But with this also being conjunct Orpheus, now what do we know about Orpheus? He was a musician. and he descended into the underworld to bring back to life his lover Eurydice, who had been killed by a snake bite, and he braved all sorts of challenges and unfortunately failed on the last 5 yards. But there's this image of a descent into the underworld for heroic reasons. Now, a lot of the astrologers are saying that this is a letting go of past baggage. And to be honest, some of the degree symbols back this up. But with Neptune and Pallas together, we are able to dive into our own personal underworlds, Orpheus, and note those ideas and beliefs that have been used against us, even if it is us using them against us. You know, standard counseling sort of philosophy of it's not so much what other people have told you, it's what you learned as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old that you have to deal with. And let's face it, a 4, 5 or 6-year-old doesn't always get things right. So it looks like it's a perfect opportunity to dive into all those sorts of issues. Now, the angel, as I said, for this is Menadel. Now, as a degree angel, Menadel represents fear or fearlessness, and inner and outer work. So those, if we descend into our own underworlds, get the teeth in, then that is inner work that can have an effect on our lives, on the outer work, quite dramatically, I would say, under this Neptune Pallas Orpheus conjunction, all being ruled by Menadel. Now, Menadel is about liberation. So again, there's that letting go. Freedom and work. Not freedom from work, but finding that work that is your great work, whatever your great work may be. It's associated with Mars. So there is all this diving into the underworld. It's not just to dive into the underworld and stay there and wallow in, oh, look, I've got this issue, and oh, look, I've got that. It's a dive in, do what you need to, get out again. Now, Menadel's also a guardian of some people born under the sign of Virgo. I've not got the degrees, but I've got the dates, 18th to the 23rd of September, traditionally. So I don't know if you have your birthday in that period, you may get a bit of extra whammy from this transit, purely from that angelic resonance. Now, the interesting thing is the Chandra degree, Chandra symbol or inside degree we have is icicles melting. And the description is soul timing, slow and formative, waiting for fullness and ripeness, outliving old stuck patterns by slowly wearing them out. Something that I think we are in the process of, certainly since last year and all the crazy astrology that we've been having since late 2019. Deep process, you experience lessons in humility and simplicity. An extravagant streak which relents only after relentless pressure. Now, can you see in this symbol, there's also that tension between the Saturn-Uranus square going on. The conflict and the attempting to balance the old with the new. In fact, it says, the next thing it says here is cross purposes. You have an attachment to personal inclination of the most stubborn kind, and yet a desperate drive to get beyond the shadow. Interior dialogue and dispute. I don't think this is going to necessarily be externally a dramatic full moon. With it, the normal full moon, if you worked in all sorts of jobs, you know full moon is always a crazy night. I think the eclipse aspect would hopefully calm that down a bit. Fingers crossed. But I think internally, it promises to be a doozy. The slow burning way and allowing pride to surrender without being made wrong. Elaborate maneuvers towards significant breakthrough, which backs up everything that I was saying. Now, the Sabian symbol. Now, here's a fascinating one. Let me scroll down to it to make sure I get it right. Where have you gone? Now, it's a flag turns into an eagle. The eagle into a chanticleer saluting the dawn. Now, I see that Saturn Uranus old versus new in that symbol as well. The eagle, although it's gone down, it was a symbol of Rome, it's a symbol of America. It's not the only country that has the eagle as one of its symbols. And it comes historically, if you like your ancient alien stuff, it comes from Babylonian times, and it was the symbol of Enlil. Where, if you like your ancient aliens, you'll remember that Enlil is the one that tried to bump us all off because we were thinking too much and getting too bright. And it was his brother Enki who managed to save more than a few of us. Enki, if you're unfamiliar with Sumerian myths, you can look at Enki in a way as being a cross between Poseidon and Prometheus, because Enki was the one who gave mankind gifts and theoretically created us in the first place, and so therefore we're his pets, and he wants us to prosper, and ignore all the weird power dynamics of that statement. So in the background of this strange allegory, we recognise the deep-seated belief that the American nation and its basic democratic institutions were constituted to be the cradle for a new step in human evolution. How ironic that Dame Rudyard would look at it that way. And under modern context, absolutely. Under your ancient alien context, gets a bit weirder, doesn't it? But then again, so if you're into your conspiracy theories, this is a great one. Because the keynote of this symbol is the spiritualization and promotion of great symbols of a new age by minds sensitive to its precursory manifestations. How apropos right now, when you have everyone talking about the new age of Aquarius, that I still say we're not in it for a few hundred years yet, but we have that Aquarian energy, we have that air energy from the new 200-year, 800-year Jupiter-Saturn Great Conjunction cycle that has now entered the element of air. So even to a point, and I suppose this comes from my more scientific past, I'm a stickler for going, we are not yet in the age of Aquarius, but it really doesn't harm to start believing that we are, because of the good sides of it, because our beliefs and our actions defined by those beliefs will hopefully bring around that Aquarian paradise that everyone talks of, rather than maybe a totalitarian state, which is the shadow side of Aquarius. But let's not talk about that one. So, carrying on with Dame Rudyard's interpretation, the flag is the abstract symbol of the nation. It becomes an eagle, another US symbol, when the concept is made alive by bold and transparent action. I suppose that relates to what I was just saying about the whole Age of Aquarius idea. The eagle symbolizes spiritual will and the power to rise from the highest possible altitude to the highest possible altitude of consciousness and purpose. Flying at such an altitude, the eagle is the first living creature to perceive the rising sun. Now, that he writes more about this, but I don't want this introduction to be too long. But I have not yet looked at the chart for the solar eclipse, and let's face it, I rely on David for the more technical understandings of all that anyway. But it will be interesting to see what I dig up about Amael for the full moon gods at play readings. Other than that, you can ask a question before this reading. Here's your opportunity now if you want to. I'm not going to guarantee you'll get an answer because it's not necessarily that sort of reading. But I'll bring the cards up in a second. So if you want to, pause, ask your question, concentrate on it for a few minutes and start the video again. In the meantime, yeah, I'll bring up the cards. Okay, Gemini. Now, if you're Gemini rising, then this is happening in your seventh house. So that's about long-term partners, whether that's romantic, business, friendships, family. Um, and it's the first, I suppose, in the way of the public houses. Thinking about it, it's the first one that arrives that was above the horizon when you were born. So there is an element of being seen here, despite the fact it's an eclipse and the light is disappearing briefly. Um, but you may have noticed in the shuffle video, it's interesting that loads of cards wanted to come out. Now, the reason that I pulled this extra card out is that these two came out for Taurus. And I was like, have I shuffled badly? Have they just stuck together or not stuck to the other ones? Because it is a bit of a sticky shuffle deck. They don't fall apart easily. I think there's quite a bit of static on them. But anyway, I digress. And then I was like, okay, clarify this, get an extra card out. And so there's no place like home, attuned to the call. And that's what Taurus got. So third card, where you are is where it's at. So immediately, I'm led to think, sit tight. Wherever you are, that's where you need to be. You're in the right place. But you may have a delay in whatever it is that you're wanting to bring about. Because we have this denial card here. Oh, and I forgot to look these two up because Volak. Oh, of course it's Valak. You're in the right place, and there's a lot of energy coming to you and a lot of change coming to you. Remiel here is telling you, look, there is a light on the horizon, things are going to get better. Which is not what you expect from an eclipse, because you expect that lightning change, that, right, come on. Let's have that change happen. But there's someone that you need to be stuck to. You will know whoever it is. Here we have Aizalel with representing loyalty. So, and I honestly think that is loyalty from you to somebody or something. So that loyalty may well be tested, especially when there's no immediate just desserts, no immediate rewards, gains, results coming through for you. But stick, whatever it is, stick with it. And with it being the seventh house of partnerships, doesn't sound like if you was wanting like a love life type question. Yeah, it's not going to happen yet, but you're still working on it and you're still building it, so don't you worry. And that's what I get from here, because we have living light energy, see the beauty in life. So again, there's that idea of staying where you are and just opening your eyes. An expansion, educate your mind and senses. And it's also almost opening a portal over the earth, or within the earth, more to the point. So that within the earth image, again, staying where you are, staying with home. Now, let me have a look. Nibus is like could be a derivation of Nabu, who was a Babylonian god of wisdom, although to me he's the entity that resides in the helm of Dr. Fate and is one of the Lords of Order. But apparently, according to this card, he's a Babylonian god of wisdom. So let's have a look what they say about Nibus. So focus, again, there's this same with Remiel, the Angel of Visions, and we have the Dream Walker. Dreams, the collective good, illusions. There's this sense of potential energy or energy within the dreaming, within the dreamscape, within the potential field. If you've read Peter Carroll's Liber Chaos, there is a potential etheric pattern, and I will do some readings about etheric patterns at some point. I've been meaning to do these for a year. But yeah, comment down below if you're interested. There's some etheric pattern forming, and it's forming by you remaining where you are, and it is also forming by you not getting the results just yet. So, Nibus, the divination from this card. Focus for dreams. Dreamwalker, Remiel Angel of Visions. Focus for dreams. Both inspiring visions and relaxing daydreams, and knowing the difference between the two. Now, Nibus, according to Colin Duplancy, was the conductor of dreams and visions in hell. But it was also, because of that, he was not taken seriously within hell. Because everyone else thought, yeah, you're in control of daydreams. Good for you. You know, there's that sense of building up something. So I don't know if this means that it's actually the solar eclipse that what you are trying to build up comes, or because I'm seeing these the sort of the lunar eclipse things to be within sort of a 3-month-ish phase. So it could be next eclipse season, or it could be some big event later this year that you are building up for, and you are creating this like creative visualization. You are creating a structure on the astral plane that will eventually be mirrored on the material plane. Right, let's straight to the right page. Volak. Beware of underestimating soft-spoken or mild-mannered individuals. Many capable individuals are easily overlooked because they are quiet. So an element of a warning there, but also an element of, oh, I see. Also an element of choosing your allies carefully. You know how there's that old phrase, it's always the quiet ones you have to watch. Well, watch the quiet ones and invite the right ones amongst them to come join you in whatever it is that you are creating. Something else I wanted to say. Yes, St. Barbara. Now, I know St. Barbara first. I look at St. Barbara and I think of Shango. In fact, I didn't even know St. Barbara existed until researching about Shango. But there's that sense of dedication and loyalty with St. Barbara. There's a sense of setting your own path. But here, you are setting your own path from home or within the home environment. There's no physical motion here. It's not here we must go to, it's here we must build. But I do believe the results when they start coming will be like lightning, because I can hear the thunder and I think of St. Barbara's fire. I say her fire because she represents fire in this deck. And her father Dioscorus was struck by lightning and burned up. So there's that fire aspect again. And also with the whole lightning thing, think about the Saturn-Uranus squares that are going on, and there's no doubt going to be some Uranus conjunction later that will be significant this year. Because, yeah, of course, just like last year, we've got some nice and easy astrology going on. This is really quite beautiful, but I should... Oh, yeah, that was the other card I wanted to mention. I have Mehiel here, representing restoration of life. Yes, look, 8 of Pentacles for the staying home. 8 of Pentacles, working, honing your craft, doing the same thing again and again and again and again, absolutely, but you're making a product, you are getting a result, whether you are honing a skill, honing an art form or creating a product by this repetitive, studious work, you are getting better and better and better. So again, there's that idea of that building up that astral structure to have it echoed in material reality, because the new beginning is not yet, because it's building up the energy for it. And also, whatever goal you may have in mind, you don't know all the details yet. There's a dream that is in your head of how you're wanting to progress forward, of what you're wanting to achieve, but not all the details are quite there yet. It's this Two of Cups reversed is telling me, everything that I want to say about it ends in the word yet. You are not working together with this other party yet. You do not have all the answers yet. These two things that are supposed to come together are not coming together yet. Because the Star with a clarifying Remiel and the Ace of Cups with this expansion, your dreams will have to get bigger. And will have to get bigger. And that is what is going to feed you during this time of famine, because then they don't materially look like they are coming into being, but they are. You are building up that astral structure. You are building up that etheric pattern, however you want to describe it. Yes. Now, if there is someone else, well, all three cards came out. So Three of Cups, Eight of Cups reversed. Right. Stick to your principles. If someone else is coming along and introducing themselves and they seem to be all that, be wary. Get the quiet ones on your side, whatever that means. Stick with the tried, tested and true loyalties, the ones that have proved themselves to you. Yeah, that's everything. That's everything that I see here, Gemini. I hope this makes some sense for you. And my apologies that I can't tell you that you will be satisfied soon. No. This thing that you're building, you will understand eventually that the idea that you've got in your mind at the moment is not quite what needs to happen. But you're so close. Allow yourself to be guided. But in the meantime, keep doing what you're doing, because you're learning so much and you're getting to expand that plan by keeping doing it and working towards it, if that makes sense. Right, so there will be full moon gods at play readings, hopefully, if I get the time. They may be like Sunday night or something like that, but they'll be coming. And I will be doing a show with David, astrologer, no doubt, for the full moon. Otherwise, see you at full moon. Yeah, full moon. Yeah, lunar eclipse. All right, cheers.